Welcome to the 9th session of your emotional regulation program with Dash Wellness. Today, we'll focus on the difference between mindful responses and automatic reactions. Learning to respond mindfully rather than react impulsively is key to emotional regulation. For this session preparation, set up your space, have writing tools ready, ensure good internet connection, and be ready to engage. Mindful responses involve thoughtful consideration and intentionality. It involves a deliberate pause and thoughtful consideration before taking action. By creating a moment of reflection, we can choose how to respond in a way that aligns with our values and long-term goals. This approach not only helps manage the immediate situation more effectively but also fosters healthier relationships and personal growth. On the other hand, automatic reactions are impulsive and often driven by immediate emotions. They are our immediate, instinctual responses to stimuli, often driven by emotions like fear, anger, or frustration. These reactions bypass thoughtful consideration and can result in actions we later regret. Automatic reactions are typically a result of our brain's quick response to perceived threats, prioritizing immediate action over reflective thinking. When we react impulsively, we often act on our initial emotional impulses, which can lead to regret and escalation of conflicts. In contrast, mindful responses allow us to pause, observe our emotions, reflect on our options, and choose the most constructive and compassionate course of action. Understanding this difference can help you navigate challenging situations with greater control and composure. This approach fosters better emotional regulation and healthier interactions. For more on emotional regulation techniques, refer back to Session 8. Reflect on a recent situation where you reacted impulsively. What emotion did you feel? How did you respond? How did the situation turn out? Do you see patterns? Identifying patterns in your reactions can help you understand the triggers and underlying emotions that drive them. By becoming aware of these patterns, you can start to change your automatic reactions into mindful responses. Patterns may include certain people, places, or situations that consistently evoke strong emotional reactions. For example, you might notice that you frequently react defensively when receiving feedback at work. By recognizing these patterns, you can anticipate your emotional responses and prepare to handle them more mindfully. Understanding your personal triggers and habitual reactions is crucial for developing emotional resilience and improving your response strategies. This awareness empowers you to break the cycle of automatic reactions and cultivate more thoughtful, intentional responses. The first step in practicing a mindful response is to pause. When you feel a strong emotion, take a moment to stop and breathe. This creates space between the stimulus and your response, allowing you to regain control. Pausing helps interrupt the automatic reaction and gives you time to think. It might feel challenging at first, especially in high-stress situations, but with practice, it becomes a natural part of your response. Pausing doesn't mean avoiding or suppressing your feelings, it simply means giving yourself the opportunity to choose how to respond. Next, observe the emotion you're feeling without judgment. Acknowledge its presence and label it. For example, you might say to yourself, "I am feeling angry," or "I am feeling anxious." This acknowledgement helps you become aware of your emotional state without becoming overwhelmed by it. Observing your emotions involves noticing physical sensations, thoughts, and feelings. You might feel your heart racing, muscles tensing, or thoughts spiraling. By observing these signs, you can gain insight into how your body and mind react to different emotions. This practice enhances your emotional awareness and helps you stay grounded. Now, reflect on your options for responding. Consider the potential consequences of each response. Ask yourself, what would be the most constructive and compassionate way to handle this situation? Reflecting helps you evaluate your choices and choose a response that aligns with your values and goals. Reflection allows you to consider the bigger picture and long-term impact of your actions. It encourages you to think about how your response will affect your relationships, well-being, and personal integrity. This step is crucial for making informed and mindful decisions. Finally, choose a mindful and intentional response. Act with awareness and consideration. By responding mindfully, you can navigate the situation with greater clarity and empathy, reducing the likelihood of conflict and misunderstandings. Mindful responses are thoughtful and measured. They demonstrate respect for yourself and others, and they foster positive outcomes. Over time, responding mindfully can strengthen your relationships, enhance your emotional resilience, and promote a sense of inner peace. Here are a few examples of mindful responses versus reactions. Imagine a conflict at work where a colleague criticizes your performance. An impulsive reaction might be to snap back defensively or storm out of the room. A mindful response would involve pausing, taking a deep breath, and acknowledging your feelings. You might say, "I feel upset by your comments, but I'd like to discuss how I can improve." This response fosters constructive dialogue and mutual understanding. In a stressful family situation, such as a disagreement during a holiday gathering, an impulsive reaction could escalate the conflict. Instead, practicing mindful responses by pausing, observing your emotions, and choosing to respond with empathy can help de-escalate the situation and maintain harmony. You might say, "I understand you're upset, and I want to hear your perspective." Reflect on how you feel after practicing mindful responses. Did it help you feel more in control and balanced? Did you notice a difference in the outcome of the situation? Write down your reflections in your journal. Consider how this practice can enhance your emotional regulation skills in daily interactions. Mindful responses require continuous practice. By consistently applying these techniques, you can build a habit of responding mindfully rather than reacting impulsively. This practice can significantly improve your emotional well-being and relationships. Once something upsets you or makes you want to react in a negative way, use that as an opportunity for growth. Not only can this improve your personal growth in emotional regulation, but it can also help you identify areas for improvement in your interactions and responses. By viewing these moments as chances to practice and refine your mindful responses, you turn challenges into valuable learning experiences. To close today's session, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned about mindful responses versus reactions. Consider how these strategies can help you manage your emotions more effectively and create a sense of inner peace. Write down any final thoughts or reflections in your journal. In our next session, we will explore techniques for dealing with negative emotions. Understanding how to manage and process these emotions is crucial for emotional regulation. Join us as we learn strategies to navigate challenging feelings with mindfulness and compassion. Thank you for joining our emotional regulation program. We hope it was helpful and look forward to seeing you in the upcoming sessions. The information provided in this emotional regulation program, including all content, materials, exercises, and resources, is intended for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other licensed health provider with any questions you may have regarding mental health and/or medical conditions.